everybody, it's Paige. Jackson apparently too. um, Today I was just feeling abs. I think tapping into that power, right, that lives at your third chakra, that energy. I'm just really feeling it today, so keep it simple and we'll try to tap into that in a lot of different ways. So let's start in child's pose. Knees wide. So you're opening your hips, lengthen your spine, drop your forehead down, breathe here. And at the bottom of every exhale, see if you can engage your bandha. So there's all these different bandhas in the body. There's these energy lock centers where you like pull in energy to your body and you create kind of this suction. So you can have bandhas in your hands, in your feet, in your throat, your pelvic floor, which is like your Kegels or anti-P muscle, and then there's one at your belly. So at the bottom of the exhale, take an inhale first. Bottom of your exhale, pull your belly button up and into your spine. And even try to like round your spine as you do it so you can really pull it in. So it's the bottom of the exhale, your belly pulls in, and then it's tighter than that. So we're gonna try to engage that today. And then from here, let's go ahead and take the left hand and bring it underneath the right armpit like a threading of the needle for a moment, just to get into the outer shoulder. Breathe with it. 2 more times. Any point through the practice, feel free to just close your eyes and tap into the sensation of the pose. Switch for the other side, right arm underneath your left arm. Keep pulling the weight towards your left seat. Another round of breath here. Yep, there's Layla. And then we'll go ahead and come back into center, into tabletop. Bring your knees in. We'll be on the hands and wrist a lot. So let's do a little wrist warm up and forearm stretch. Fingertips point back. So you go from fingertips forward, out, and then in. Palms facing down. We're going to go ahead and lean back. So you really get the wrist into the forearm. So it's not really just the wrist. Finding that supporting energy around. So if you do have lower back issues, definitely working on a nice strong core is good. But then everything connecting to the core. Strong legs will be important through this practice as well. So we can target the whole entire area and get supported around it. And then from here, let's go ahead and flip the fingertips in, but palms up. So getting the front of the forearms, lean back. If you can turn the inside of the elbow forward, go for it. I'm rocking a little bit forward and back. If it's too much, you don't have to move at all, or you can always walk the knees in closer or further back if you need more. And then from here, toes curled under just for a moment. Stretch the feet out. They don't get enough attention, so just for a moment, shake out the wrist. Interlace your fingers. Take an inhale. As you exhale, push your hands away. So you're like stretching out the fingers. Arch your spine like cat. Inhale like cow. Exhale like cat. Inhale, push your tailbone back, open your belly, exhale round, and then come all the way up off the feet or off the heels here, and we'll reach it over to the right and left a couple of times. You can like circle around too if you want to move your hips and circle the arms in both directions. And then we're going to go ahead and have our feet flat and sit down. And I'm going to face towards you so you can see better here. What we're going to do, we're going to extend over to the side and back and forth a couple of times. Just kind of like warm our body up a little bit, especially if like, right, we're not in a hot yoga room. So it is good to do like a little bit of warm up before you go like full blast into your practice. And then start to sweep in front of you to go to the side. So just lean down to the side. And each time you can get a little bigger with it if you want to start to lift your hips off your heels. Getting a little bit more into the side body. Again, we're supporting everything around whatever our focus is in our practice. Starting with the upper body. And then we'll go ahead and make our way to center to roll through the neck. Both directions. Close your eyes. You can move your spine like a cat-cow at the same time if you want a little bit more of that spinal movement. Listen to the breath. Try not to hold it at least. And try to have the breath full, not shallow. And come back into center. Finding downward facing dog. So it's kind of like going to be our like sun salutation A, like skipping kind of those. We'll do like one round where we just kind of feel what's going on in the body, but that was more of our warm up. So take an inhale, exhale, settle in for a moment. Press into the hands, lean left and right, and then find the center point. Fingertips spread wide, press to the heels, maybe even lift the toes. Even if the heels are not touching, try to lift the toes. So you're like activating the legs from the feet all the way up. You can even soften the knees if you need to. And then bend one knee, bend the other. Shift forward into high plank, bend the knees, roll to down dog, and then right into high plank, bend the knees, roll to down dog, right into high plank. Few sessions or few of these like rolls here where you start to feel like you're loosening up your body. We'll walk forward one time here, ragdoll. Soften the knees and shake it out. Bend one knee and the other. If you would like to bring one arm high and the other, you can bend one knee and then the other. So starting to take that scan over our whole body before you just like turn up the heat. Interlace your hands, lean your weight a little more forward, bend your knees at least a little bit, shake out your head. Inhale, exhale, one more time. Let your arms dangle, inhale, bend the knees and roll up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Whew, yeah, reach it up, big breath in. Exhale, hands to prayer. Whew. Gaze down at your fingertips or close your eyes. I just had a yawn. Feeling grounded into the feet, lengthening through the crown of your head. Notice if your belly spilled out. So when we do a lot of core work, we're gonna think about like corseting and pulling in this whole entire area, right? So if you take your hands to your hips, you want your pelvic bone and your hip bone to be level, parallel to each other. If you have your pelvic bowl with your hands on your hips and you were like spilling your bowl forward, like if you had a bunch of just fluid here and you were gonna like spill your fluid forward, spilling it back, over tucking, try to find the center point where you're not really pushing your butt back, you're not under tucking a lot, but you find that point right in the middle. That's where we want a nice neutral hip space. And then from there, take an inhale, exhale, then pull the belly up and in, engage that Uddiyana Bandha. So that's one we can focus on. You could feel the feet really active, the hands can be really active when you're pressing into them, and the throat. We don't want to just like throw our head back or let it fall forward. We want to find that center point, and then with the exhale, the Ujjayi breath. You want to feel that energy there. So paying attention to that, reach it up on the inhale, exhale, forward fold, halfway lift on the inhale, plant your palms, step back and hold high plank. So first, really engagement, nice core here. So looking down or forward, we're gonna shift forward and back, shift forward and back. Stay with that. Whatever breath you want here. Notice when we do this, if you ever could see yourself on like your camera or your phone or your computer, try to not let your hips sink here and try not to let them be too high. So we're trying to get the hips kind of about parallel to the shoulders. Little lower is okay, but just playing with that. Shift forward, tippy toes, take your knees, look forward and then slowly lower down for that first one. Press the tops of the feet, lift the knees, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift it up for cobra as you gaze down. Exhale, back down. Then come to the fingertips. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, down. Fingertips wide. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower it down. Fingertips wide, lift it up. Dip your right shoulder, gaze over to the left. Inhale, center. Dip your left shoulder, gaze over to the right. Inhale through center, exhale, lower. Now, we're going to press, actually slide our hands back just a little bit. We're gonna try this out. Press into the tops of the feet. Start to roll the shoulders and then drag your feet forward, upward facing dog. Now, engage your core, toes curl under, engage the hands. Roll the toes, pull the belly in, pull it in, cinch it in. Downward facing dog. Good, bring the feet together. Take an inhale on your tippy toes. Exhale, step or hop, top of the mat. Halfway lift the feet, engage the feet. Lengthen your spine, pulling the belly in. On your exhale, forward fold. Soften the knees if you need. We're gonna go ahead and come up for a one-legged Tadasana by bringing our right knee into our chest, switching the weight to the left foot. So you're engaging your core here. Engage, engage, engage. Bring it up, relax into it, relax the shoulders. And from here, so we're engaging, supporting muscles and all that. We're gonna go ahead and take the right leg back. Full airplane, lean forward, lift the back heel, and then try to keep the weight equal on either side of your left foot here. Flex the right toes and then lift your right leg higher. Lean a little more forward, roll the right toes in. Land it down to a crescent lunge. We're gonna reach up as you sink down into the front knee. Take an inhale. And on the exhale, let's go ahead and open it up, warrior two. We're gonna take fallen star. Straighten your front leg, hips shift back, reach forward. So you're using your core here to stay lifted. So when we think about core, it's not gonna just be this one spot. It's gonna be everything around, everything that wraps around. It's gonna be everything that's in the front, the back, the sides. It's all of this, right? So we wanna think about finding different angles to target the core. Reaching the arms forward. Another round of breath. And then let's sweep it down and then take it to the back of the mat into our one-legged Tadasana with the left leg high. I'm gonna walk back a little bit so I don't have as much space here. And we're gonna go into that airplane. So you're gonna just take your time. It's okay, our bodies don't have to be like perfect in these postures for them to really do their job for us, right? So don't worry so much about like making this look perfect, but we're feeling that where the alignment is, so where we can like challenge ourselves a little bit more. I have my hands on my hips trying to really pull the left hip down, left toes down. Because even when we think the left toes are down, they're probably not. They're probably out to the side. So we have to really try to roll them in. And then one more breath. Land to crescent. Sink into the front knee. Reach the arms up on the inhale. Exhale, warrior two, back of the mat. Straighten your legs out. Really shift your hips back. And then reach forward, open through the hands. So we're like creating length, but we're still engaging at the same time. You could flex the toes up in the bottom foot here, or in the right foot, if you want to like, again, pull the energy all the way up from the legs into the core. Open the hands, roll that top shoulder back. One more breath in, and as you exhale, bring it to the top of the mat. We're gonna plant our palms, and then bring your knee to nose in the left foot. And then go ahead and bring your leg up to the ceiling, bend your knee, open your hip for a moment, and then bring your knee to the opposite elbow. And then go to the left elbow, right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, left elbow, right elbow, half pigeon. Go ahead and move your right knee back for a moment. Center the weight in the hips if you're feeling like pulling the back foot in or coming down for a moment. Just give it a few breaths here. So as much as we're challenging, we're finding ways to support our bodies. So that way we're not burning out, right? And hurting ourselves at all. So taking a few more breaths here. And then we're gonna come up, drop to the left hip, and play with a twist over the right shoulder. Maybe move through your neck for a moment. We're gonna play with the other side now. So the way we're gonna come out of this is take the right foot behind you. Let's go ahead and bring the left foot down, and then bring your right knee towards your right elbow, and then bring it all the way up to the ceiling. Bend your knee, open your hip, and then to the left elbow, to the right elbow. Left elbow, right elbow. Switch back and forth, and then bring it all the way into that half pigeon right knee, right wrist. Move your back knee further back. Play with kind of moving left and right. Like you could actually drop to your hip and center a few times, and then find that point where you're off the hip. You could use a block, you could use a blanket or pillow underneath your hip as well. Any way you need the support. Again, the back leg is available if you want to grab onto it. And coming down to the elbows for a moment, so you can relax here. If you want to rest your head. Jackson's catching a fly, so that's good. Take a few moments. I like to move around and breathe with it before I can really drop into stillness sometimes because of how tight it might feel. And don't see tightness as a bad thing. It's really just what you've conditioned your body to, and it's protecting you. So just being really patient and kind to your body. We'll drop to the right hip and bring the left leg around for a nice seated twist with the left hand behind you. Right arm high on the exhale, working on a twist. Try to relax through your facial expression, just to bring awareness that maybe you don't even realize like how much you might be like clenching, right? Like some of these wrinkles we get, right, are because we make these same faces all the time. So we could relax our face a little bit more. We can start to release even tension in our face. One more breath. 2, nice release here. Left leg goes behind you. Plant your palms. Step back into high plank. Let's go for a side plank. I'm going to stagger my feet. My right foot is in front of my left. I'm rolling into my left hand, and I'm going to move the right foot in. I'm feeling this today, really getting into the obliques as I reach up and over, and then dip into it, reach back, gaze back. And you can come all the way down to the ground if you're feeling that, or you can hover the left hip. Reach it up and over and back. One more time. Press into that bottom hand fully, otherwise you're going to feel it. And from here, let's go ahead and cross the right ankle on the left thigh. So I'm facing like the back of the mat now for a figure 4 in the legs. Bend your left leg and then bring your left knee in. Hover it out. Bring it in. So actively try to feel this in that right leg, but if you need to use your hands to kind of adjust the leg, toes flexed in, go for it. Then play with it as that lower core work. If you like lifting your head, you could always bring your hands interlaced behind your head and rest your head into your hands so it becomes like a hammock for you and you're not stressing your neck out. So taking an inhale on the way out, exhale in. Last few. And what we'll do is we'll hold in a figure 4 for a moment. My body's super tight. Taking time to be like, all right, that's fine. So just do what you need to do to take care of yourself. So coming into our own power and realizing it is also like seeing all parts of ourselves and not allowing any of that to be used against us, right? So like owning our own truth so that it's not going to hurt us. And then drop your feet down, lift your hips up for bridge, hands on your hips. Keep your hips as level and steady as they are right now, and then try to march in place. You don't have to lift your foot a lot. If you want, you can lift your leg all the way up, but the goal is more to try to keep those hip bones exactly where they are without letting one go higher than the other, without letting them dip too much. So just like little marches are fine, but we're working a deeper core here. It's not like on the surface. We're working this transverse abdominal muscle. Just a few more. And then drop your hips. Either sit on your hands or hands next to you and doing just a few circles here. Or if you want to play with shoulder stand as core engagement, you can have the hands on the lower back, but you're using your core to get the legs really high up there. So when you release the hands, like it's not coming from the hands. If you want to play with any leg variations there, go for it. This practice, we're just doing a little different. I feel like switching things up. We'll play with the other side in our high plank here in a moment. So if you wanted to go ahead and take your time to engage the core, you could lift your head slow, 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 come back down. Maybe happy baby for just a moment if it feels better to release. We'll go ahead and find our way up into the feet. Reverse tabletop, go ahead and lift the hips up. Have that lock center at your throat, so don't completely collapse your throat back. Engage the throat a little bit here. Take an inhale. Exhale. Belly up and in. And here it's different because we're pushing the hips forward, but we're engaging the hands and the feet and the throat. You could even have the anti-P muscle engage here. This might seem weird, but if you can feel it in different postures, try to engage those bandhas. And then drop it back and down. And then we'll just go ahead and flip to down dog for the other side. With the high plank, roll over to the right, slide your left foot in, inhale, reaching up and over. Exhale, dip into it. Inhale, up and over. Exhale, dip. And then from here, we'll find that figure four. Really set it up with the left leg and then hover the right. Inhale, exhale. And just continue with that. See where you want to go. You don't have to do these super fast. If anything, try to do them even slower, right? Like more intention, more engagement than momentum. You could grab the sides of your mat or sit on your hands, or if you want an extra challenge, you could always bring your arms over your head with different lower back exercises so that the arms aren't really doing work. I'm going to grab opposite elbows. I'm feeling opening up my shoulders. Stay for a few more. Last two. Last one. And maybe just hold in the figure four for a moment. Good. From here, drop the feet down, lift the hips for bridge. Maybe interlace your hands, or if you're feeling wheel today, that's up to you. I'm not as much feeling it today. You do know yourself, so trust your own practice and what you need out of it. And then we'll slowly lower down. Again, either circle the legs, or you could take shoulder stand. Hi. You could bring the leg down in front of you and back up. You could do some bicycle crunches if you're feeling that today. Just getting a little bit more before it's over. We have like a minute before Shavasana, so we're just kind of getting those last things of core here. You could even engage by holding an elbow to the knee and switch, and then like hold the elbow to the knee. When I do this, I notice I'm like shaking. That's a good thing, right? Like your core is like so powerful, it's shaking you that you're waking it up. Right? Speaking and living in your truth sometimes will make you shake, but it's totally worth it. And then release. And what we're gonna do is actually rock up with the legs straight, fingertips in, reverse plank for a few more breaths. Engage those bandhas. One more. And then we'll go ahead and flex the toes up, move the seat to the side, and bend the knees as much as you need into your forward fold as you bend the elbows towards the mat. Let your head drop. Again, knees can be bent. You don't have to force straight legs here to still feel this. Keep lengthening your spine, kind of wiggling forward and pull into your fold. We're going to scoot and forward and then use your core for that last few seconds to roll back. If you do want a big hug in, go for it, and then open up into whatever resting pose you want. Today I'm feeling the soles of the feet together for a little bit. So like even in Final Shavasana, if you're feeling like different arm and leg variation or anything like that, that's okay. The least amount of effort usually is what's required, but because these classes are so short, if you're feeling like something else and you want to hold that longer for your resting pose, and go for it. So coming into closed eyes, some stillness. And then picturing a golden ball of light like the sun right at your core, the deepest part of your core. With each inhale, imagine it pulsing bigger and brighter, and feel its warmth, its heat, its power. Every exhale, imagine it kind of just pulling in a little bit, dimming a little bit, and every inhale gets brighter. And as it does this, it's like pulsating with your breath, and it's growing bigger and brighter and stronger and warmer. And now imagine it just like going out, radiating from you. Feel its warmth and just be with it. Be open to it. Don't be scared of it. See what comes up for you in this space for a few more moments. If you want to come out of your final Shavasana, just take a moment to move around. Come up to your seated pose, any way you want to get there. However you want to sit, even if it's different than you normally sit, anything that's comfortable so you can find a nice tall spine, hands to prayer. Let your chin bow down towards your chest so your head's bow into your heart for a moment. And remember this practice, remember your strength, just learning how to tap into it and believe in it. Take an inhale, thumbs through your third eye center. Exhale, bowing to the teacher in all things. Namaste. Thank you so much. We'll hopefully see you guys soon, and we'll just stay in touch. So stay well, and I appreciate any comments, any feedback, and let me know what's going on. All right, bye.